Was this the accidental Cloverfield movie that almost was? A film seemingly about zombies during D-Day that may have had a connection to the larger Cloverfield universe, especially after the events of Cloverfield Paradox, where it's an entire multiverse now, and any story can technically be part of this bundle. According to J.J. Abrams, this is his umbrella term to take in scripts that Hollywood rejected and actually bring them into the fold and put money into them under the brand name of Cloverfield. But J.J. Abrams said, nah, this ain't it. This is not a Cloverfield movie like you guys might have thought it was. Just because it's produced by me and my company and Bad Robot does not mean it's a Cloverfield movie. And the directors of Overlord have stated, yeah, it's not a Cloverfield movie. I get why there's a lot of speculation, but it's not. This is bullshit. I don't care what this man says. This man has been saying that about every single non-Cloverfield movie that has been somewhat related to Cloverfield and rumored to be a Cloverfield movie by even him and his marketing team. He said that about them as well. And this interview is sus as fuck because the directors are stumbling over their words every 2 seconds when trying to deny that this is a Cloverfield movie. There's something wrong here. This is a psyop straight from Hollywood, okay? The actors, some of them at least, seemed to think that they were in a Cloverfield movie. They were led to believe they were in a Cloverfield movie for a lot of production time and filming of this film. How fucking interesting. Apparently, according to people on Reddit and people all over the place, during some kind of test screening where they saw a different cut than what the final release was, an alternate cut showed a direct connection to Cloverfield. Very, very interesting. Because of the reception of Cloverfield Paradox, J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot decided, okay, fuck this. Overlord's not going to be part of the Cloverfield franchise. We're just going to make it something else. We're going to change up the story elements, remove anything that's Cloverfield related, and just make it zombies on D-Day. That's what it's going to be. And that's how we got Overlord. They abandoned the Cloverfield connection. Now, some people say that might be for the better. Some people say, why the fuck did they do that? This could have been a great fourth entry into the franchise. I'm going to talk about what that Cloverfield connection could have looked like. But first, can I just say this? Overlord is an underrated gem of a film, right? May not be perfect, but I think this movie is really great. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that people thought this was going to be a straight up zombie film. 28 years later with soldiers and war and all this stuff, I think this is more of a straight up war film than a zombie film, especially considering the fact that you don't see zombies until like the later half, third act of the film. Most of this is about our characters going through the horrors of war, especially from the opening scene where you see our soldiers in a plane and that plane is getting bombed on. All the planes are getting bombed on by Nazis and you see their faces. You see how fucking terrifying it is being in their position. Really, really well done. You get to see the PTSD that these characters have. You get to see our main character, who's basically a freaking pacifist, doesn't like violence, doesn't like to kill, struggling with this dilemma as he's forced to kill. You get to see guys like Wyatt Russell, who's the standout of this film in my opinion, playing basically John Walker in Thunderbolts, but way more serious than this. You get to see his survivor mentality and how his arc changes throughout the film as well, and how him and the main character interact with each other despite having different morals going into the film. It's very, very interesting seeing how they have to navigate the situations in front of them. You got this actress, a beautiful French character that helps guide them, and she plays a very, very important role in not only helping them, but also the third act itself. And I'm not just saying I like her because of the actress looking the way she does, because she does, you know, she looks damn good. She's very attractive. I like her for more reasons than one, for sure, but she's a good character as well. And I'm not the only one who likes her. The freaking Nazi general in this is trying to molest her every 2 seconds in this fucking film, so I just gotta put that out there. And on top of that, you have pretty great action scenes overall, some pretty violent, gory shootouts that look awesome. And then you got zombies. Now, a lot of people who watched Overlord, remember, their expectations for what this movie was going to be were different than what they got. Because the final battle, you're expecting a horde of super soldier zombies coming at our soldiers, but it's really not that. It's really only 2 or 3 zombies you see, and one of them is an absolute idiot. The main villain, who becomes a zombie, is basically in one of those fight scenes where he could easily kill any one of our main characters at any time with one hit, but instead chooses to grab them and throw them across the room for like 20 minutes straight while monologuing. Like, it's that kind of fight scene. It's pretty fucking stupid. But that brings us to the zombies, who are pretty damn cool. These are super soldier zombies, born from a specific serum which has originated from tar found underground this French village. The tar found beneath this village is refined through their bodies. Okay, their bodies have learned to use this tar to change their innards, and it mutates them. It's created this serum that can mutate their body and adapt it almost to anything when it comes to any kind of death almost. It's intended to grant enhanced strength and durability, but also leads to horrific mutations and loss of control in those injected. Okay, this is like imagine multiple Steve Rogers coming at you, but they're fucking zombies. And headshots don't always kill them. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to come to terms with. When headshots are not a completely reliable way to kill a zombie, that's a problem. There's one scene where we see one of the main characters injected after he's been shot to death. And we see what it's like for these characters to come back from the dead and become fucking zombies. And he does, and it is horrifying. His transformation reminds me a lot of the transformation of that one girl in The Thing 2011 reboot. If you know which one I'm talking about, there's a chick who's like bent backwards, and the way it's done and the way he's infected, it gives me the same kind of nightmare fuel feeling. It's a pretty cool zombie transformation. And our final act ends with Mr. Wyatt Russell coming in clutch. This guy's a badass. This character's a badass. He's one of my favorite characters that this actor's ever played. Love him. Now, while the film overall is good, a lot of people wanted it to be a Cloverfield movie. And you know what, guys? Let me tell you, it almost was, because there was a Cloverfield connection, and apparently, according to people on Reddit, which I know, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, there was an alternate story. A couple people saw some alternate cut where there was a couple more things included in the actual film that were removed after the reception of Cloverfield Paradox, apparently. So this is how the alternate story would have gone. Hear me out. Basically, there's this underground laboratory used by Nazis, underground a church. And the church being there is very spiritually and symbolically important, because what's actually happening underneath the church is something satanic. The scientists, have opened a rift to another dimension. A dark dimension with demons. Don't leave! Yes, demons would come out from this dimension and jump inside the bodies of soldiers that they were experimenting on. Basically like Deadites. They'd grant you powers of a freaking demon Deadite that can't die, that has enhanced strength and speed and agility and all this shit. Durable as fuck. So they'd give you these powers, and the serum is basically used on these soldiers to protect them from their minds being taken over by the demon, so that they would retain the powers of the demon, but they wouldn't be fully possessed and lose their minds and kill everybody there. That's what the serum was used for. Very complicated. Now, another theory suggests that the serum used here is basically some kind of version of what would become Slusho. Slusho is this drink that's promoted by Tagruato, the big corporation behind Cloverfield. And it's like in all the ARG marketing campaigns for all the Cloverfield movies. And a lot of people said, okay, this is like some kind of variant of Slusho, some refined version. Now, that take is not terrible, but I don't even know how accurate that is. And because of this demon plot, a lot of people thought, okay, this directly connects to something said in Cloverfield Paradox. You see, there's a scientist who's on the news in an interview in that movie, and he says that the Shepard Accelerator could unleash monsters, demons, and beasts from the sea. We already saw the beasts from the sea as Clover. Monsters could be, I don't know, anything. Could be the aliens. Demons could be this. So, one has to ask, okay, is this fucking real? Is this a real thing that happened in the cut? Truth is, we can only take the word of a couple people online, right? There's only so far we can take that, but the real answer is it doesn't matter, because J.J. Abrams doesn't even believe in it. He scrapped it. So it's not part of the Cloverfield universe at all. They didn't know how to square the Cloverfield plot with this movie without ruining it all, especially shitting themselves after the reception of Cloverfield Paradox and how bad that shit was, right? You could have done it without going as stupid as, oh, we're opening a portal to demons, and so we're injecting a serum that'll stop the demon from possessing. You don't need to get that convoluted with it. And you could have directly connected this to Cloverfield in a better way, in a more subtle way. You guys remember Tagruato, right? The corporation behind everything Cloverfield. Did you know that they were founded 1 year after the events of D-Day, the events of this film, Overlord? Interesting. Coincidence? I think fucking not. You see, Hashida, or whoever, the CEO, Hashida I'm gonna call him, who founded Tagruato. What if he was in the film? What if you casted a young investor or a scientist that was working and forced to work for the Germans at this time in Overlord, right? And Hashida was this genius scientist who hadn't started Tagruato yet, of course. And Hashida was doing a lot of deep sea marine investigations and studies. And in this pursuit, he found this substance in the seabed, this nectar. And remember, the seabed, the nectar, and clover have been dormant in the earth for thousands of years. So he found the seabed nectar only. This is before clover was even discovered, before they started drilling. And they started experimenting on it. And when the Germans found the results, they decided to grab this guy and have them work for him. All right? Remember, they haven't discovered clover yet. They've only discovered a bit of seabed nectar and they don't know what it is. So they had access, because Hashida had access and experience with this unrefined substance, he was forced to work for the Nazis in experiments on human beings. This substance would later be refined by the company into slusho as a product for everyone to have. Who knows why Tagruato wanted to give this to everyone and distribute it? Was it a mass experimentation psyop? Who knows? Regardless, instead of having this tar and all this oil that is like the base of this serum, you could have had it be that seabed nectar that Mr. Hashida is very, very experienced with and is experimenting on under control of the Nazis. And basically, they see the effects of this. It turns everyone into these super soldier zombies. And because of this, and you remember, you're subtly referencing all of this. You don't even need to mention the word clover or Tagruato or anything, all right? Because of this, it would make absolute sense that Hashida and a couple other Germans that escaped founded Tagruato after and decided, okay, we need to look closer into the seabed nectar. All right, we're going to use this company as a front to look into this, to see what else we can do with this. And that turns Hashida into maybe a villain. And because of this, they start investigating what's down there. And they come across clover decades later. And you can show that, the formation of Tagruato, maybe in a post-credit scene after Overlord is done. That's it! That's literally it. Just have the Tagruato connection and seabed connection be there. It's easy. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to do this demons and all this stuff because, oh, we need to make it multiversal. No, you could just have directly connected to the Cloverfield. Fuck the multiverse shit. It's lazy it's lazy. It's lazy because you don't know how to connect these dots, but I do. I do, JJ. I do. Hire me as a script consultant and I will do this for you. All right? That's how I would have done it. Besides that, I think Overlord's a really fun watch. I think it's a good movie. Watch it. I think you'll have a good time watching it, especially the first two halves of the film. I think they're great. Third act might disappoint some people, but overall, I think it's a great time. If you want to know why Super 8 was also a long lost Cloverfield movie and how that could have connected to Cloverfield in a very interesting way, you can watch this video over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.